Welcome to the Town of Ayer Finance Committee meeting on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. at the Ayer Town Hall. This is a hybrid meeting. This meeting of the Finance Committee will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. The meeting this evening is pretty much a single focus meeting. We're going to look at the funding and financial aspect of the town security cameras. I would like to take a moment to read from the town's website and from the Finance Committee's page a little note on the purview of the Finance Committee. The responsibility of the Finance Committee is to act in the best interest of the taxpayer. The Finance Committee is the representative and advisory committee for town meeting, the legislative body of government in the town of Ayer. The committee's primary responsibility is to present a balanced budget for the annual town meeting, which provides an efficient use of available funds by maximizing revenue streams and ensuring expenses are quantified. The committee reviews and provides recommendations on all monetary municipal warrant articles. The committee provides information on the town of Ayer's financial health, execution of financial processes, and financial efficiency for voters to make educated decisions. Final decision-making responsibility rests with the elected officials and those who vote at town meeting and general elections. Okay, what we'd like to start with is Chief Brian Gill is with us and is going to make a presentation on the flock safety cameras, funding and financial input, and then we'll have some questions and discussion after that. Thanks very much.
Good evening. Just get myself organized here. Mr. Chair, without further ado, we're just going to jump into my presentation.
Yes, please do.
All right, so what we're going to talk about tonight is the flock safety overview, which was also gone over in a meeting 2 nights ago and lightly talked upon at other previous meetings. We're going to talk about the grant-funded implementation of the program, the contract execution, and the public information portal overview, which was also talked about at a previous meeting. Okay, so next slide, flock safety overview. So in a nutshell, flock safety is an industry leader in the ALPR, automatic license plate reader.
Thank you. I was wondering.
In public safety security camera technology, this system captures time-stamped vehicle data from strategically identified locations, giving investigators reliable information that significantly speeds up their investigation. Flock technology has been successfully used locally and nationwide to solve homicides, missing person cases, motor vehicle and property crimes, assaults, and other high-profile investigations. Flock technology is in use in over 6,000 communities and 5,000 law enforcement agencies nationwide. Flock safety technology is used to solve over 2,000 crimes per day, which accounts for 10% of all crime in the nation per day. So that's a pretty significant figure there that that this technology is closing the gap by 10% in solve rate for all crimes. Grant funding implementation, there's a couple of screenshots up there. I don't know if everybody can see them. These are also found on our website that we can talk about afterwards. But before this, we applied for the grant. We had been looking at whether or not flock safety technology was something that we could bring into town, and we started to look at the technology and the uses in Ayer. Budgetary kind of forecasts made us take a step back and not pursue looking at whether or not we could have this included in our town funding at that point. So we kind of shelved the project for moving forward. There was a grant that became available for us to apply to, and it's the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. And it's really focused towards local police departments, and it's a grant that's maintained by the state. And what it does is it assists with, in this case, technology. So what we did was we applied for the flock safety grant, and our initial application, we had several more pieces of technology included in that. But when we were informed that we won the award, the award was for $25,000, which is a significant amount, but less than what we were looking for. So we had to kind of take a step back and figure out how we could make the $25,000 work within the flock safety program. So what we ended up coming up with is the program that we have currently in front of us. So it is 5 ALPRs and 3 security cameras that are in town. So what you see up here is the grant award that was for $25,000. We were invoiced for $25,000. In the paperwork, there is also the indication that, where's this in the next slide? Hold on. Now, so in the paperwork that's on line, there's some internal paperwork that shows that money was indeed paid for. There was a question at the previous meeting about the what the revenue source was or whatnot. It was I don't know if we actually came up with an answer that night. But
yeah, it's a reimbursable grant.
Reimbursable. So it's just a reimbursable line that where money. So so the only monies awarded to this was for $25,000, which was the sum of the grant. Then we moved on to the contract execution for that. So the contract is also online, and the contract shows that we got the specific pieces of equipment, the technology associated with it, and the execution on the last page, all indicating the $25,000. Okay, and then so now we're on to the public information portal. So this went live on June 8th, where we put as much information as we could get out there. To start off with, it was an open letter from myself. We had a frequently asked questions. It was about a 3 to 4 page document of questions that we had been repeatedly seeing being brought up in different kinds of venues or emails directly to me. So to help answer those questions that were obviously circling around was to put those right out there and answer those questions the best we could. When we talked about this last 2 days ago, we had actually updated the frequent FAQ page with several other questions that we had been repeatedly seeing, and some that we thought were just important enough to get it out there as well. So there are also there was some questions about what does a search look like, what does an audit look like. So we put up some links up there that are on the left-hand side is where all I'm reading from. So it actually will highlight all of those things and what the interface looks like. And then what we did was we put up a frequently requested public document section, which we were getting several public records requests, and they were all asking for the same information. So what we did was we put all that up there, and that's where you'll find our policies. That's where you'll find all of the contract information, all of the grant information, any correspondences, any just the stuff that's been asked for. So went live on, like I said, went live on June 8th, and we're going to update it periodically. To get to this, you go to the town's website, and you go to the Ayer Police Department's page, and on the left-hand column, there'll be a section that says Flock Safety Portal or something to that effect. It's pretty crystal clear that that's what it is. If you want to write that down, that's the address right there. Next page, I think we're kind of at the end of this presentation. So the long and short of it is we applied for a grant, and we use grant funding to conduct the implementation of this program. And here we are.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Chief. And thank you for the portal. I had questions, and I did go right there, and I had most of my questions answered. I think what I'd like to do is that Andrew sent a group of questions. I sent a few and emailed them to you and Robert, and I was wondering if we could maybe just go through theirs. Again, we're trying to keep the focus just again on the financial and funding aspects of this. So, Robert, Andrew, should we just, do you want to just go down the list, or Robert, do you want to just go down and?
However you want to do it.
However you want to do it, Mr. Chair.
So, well, what I was thinking is, I think, Robert, since you maybe have the questions,
Okay.
Sure.
again, these are just, essentially, you could just say, yes, as Chief mentioned, our first question is, what's the contract year cost? It is $25,000.
Okay, so let me, Mr. Chair, through you, members of the FinCom,
Yeah.
Chief, good evening. Let me just, as came up at Tuesday's meeting at the Select Board, so just so we're clear on a few things. So the first thing is, this is a trial year. I'm not speaking for the chief, but we have the grant. It's for $25,000. That is the cost for this year. There is no, at this time, because we haven't developed the FY28 budget, which we'll all be coming back to you for, there is no other appropriation at this time. So that if, and that is not just my decision, of course, but if we were to proceed, we would need to address the costs for FY28. The costs would have to go through the budget process, which includes here, would be in the, most likely would be in the omnibus budget under the police department. If there was any new capital, which I don't think we foresee, I mean, the capital that was put in belongs to the company, but if there was any new capital for FY28 that met the definition of capital, it would go through that capital process. So as the chief mentioned, we received the grant, executed the contract, the invoice has been paid, and it, as came up on Tuesday, the funds have been reimbursed to the town. So in terms of, one could say, and we're just speaking conceptually, but for FY27, there is no cost impact to the town, as the whole thing is covered by the grant. For FY28, and again, let's just say for the sake of argument that the cost impact would be $25,000 for the next year. In the contract, you'll see that there is language about our reoccurring subscription, or that it automatically renews and so forth. So a couple things is, one, all of the contracts are subject to appropriation, but even if we decide, the town decides, the chief, that we're not going to continue or so forth, obviously we would conclude that contract. We wouldn't renew it. And if there was no appropriation, because this is always a challenge with municipal government, if town meeting or what have you, if there wasn't an appropriation, just like for any contract, that would pose an issue as well. On the terms of the contract also, I think...
Just to interject, so, and we had sort of noted on in the contract that it is a recurring,
Yeah.
there's language that it is a recurring subscription, but from what you're saying, this is not. This is just this year, and then it's up to the town to renew this for next year.
Right, what we do every year with similar ones is, as we get closer, usually depending on the provision, but let's say by April or May, if we're not going to continue, we contact them.
Andrew?
Honestly, Pauline brought this point up yesterday because I wasn't able to attend the meeting, but I watched it this morning.
Yeah.
When did the contract go live? Right, because by what was Pauline's math, which made sense, it was February. Now, if you're saying that appropriations is March or April, right, it will have automatically renewed for 3 years. Right, so that we wouldn't actually have had a chance to go through that. So do you have a definitive start date of when the contract actually, when they think they started the contract? And if not, can you give me that answer?
Yeah, I can give you that answer. And that did come up the other night, and it was more of a statement, not a question at that time. So I had brought up that question that the system hasn't fully come online yet, that we are still waiting for equipment to be put online. So I have talked to them and said that where the system is not fully online, that's when the start date should be.
Okay. Do we have that in writing? Like in an email somewhere?
It's a conversation that I've had with our customer success representative.
Can you get him to send you an email?
Her?
Yes. Apologies. Get them to send you an email?
I could probably do that.
That was it for me.
Okay. Okay, all right, so, and again, so this is, it's right, so this is just for 1 year, right, at this point?
Correct.
Okay, okay. And then Robert, you want to, so it looks like you're pretty much going down our list here and addressing them, so, okay, so why don't you go ahead and continue on that, and I guess we can just interject as we need further details and questions. That sound good?
That was my only addition.
Oh, okay.
What?
That was my only addition.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where did
So that
you
you
lost my spot?
You're on future annual costs may increase. Third from the bottom.
Oh yeah. So future annual costs may increase. So they would provide notices of those fee changes, and we would have an opportunity to discuss them with them, because obviously there may be fee increases, but when you're dealing with the municipality, we would have a set amount, right? So that is not completely uncommon in that sense. Yeah, so the non-renewal deadline, the agreement requires notice of non-renewal at least 30 days before the end of the then current term. And so we would notify probably well before that, based back on what we talked about on the appropriation piece. Yeah, of course, missing that window could allow the contract to roll into a longer renewal period, but that's why we monitor these things. The non-appropriation clause, so yeah, so public funded obligations are conditioned on available appropriation. So this is like with any contract, whether it's because you're dealing with a municipality, whether it would be this contract or say a personal service contract, everything is subject to appropriation. If we don't have the appropriation, there we are.
So I just want to interject real quick. So I think what we're really just again finishing this thought on the renewal terms of 36 months. But again, this is a 1-year contract, and I think the one takeaway I've had is that there is, from what I understand, again, I have not had a chance to read the contract, is there may be language in there that if we don't, we have to make sure we stay on top of it and make sure Flock realizes that, yes, it is for 1 year only. And any language in the contract to the would not apply, because we're going to make sure we cancel it in time. And
Are we?
Hmm?
Are we
What?
canceling it?
No. If, as far as from what I understand, it's for 1 year. And then from what I understand, there is possibly language in the contract that says it could go out for a longer period.
Okay, just was confused by your statement.
Okay, yeah, so, and that's, and again, I think, Robert, you're addressing that in that the town is going to look at this on a year-to-year basis. And therefore, we are not looking any further than that. Okay. Okay, and then I think the next things that came up on our questions, again, just I think some hardware is owned by Flock, not the town.
That's correct, right?
Yeah.
I got a follow up on that. If someone throws a rock at a camera and it breaks, is there I did not see language that says they are going to replace it in a set amount of time or something to keep us up and running. Right, they could just not replace it, right?
Every camera is a subscription. So if a camera isn't running, we're not going to pay for it.
Okay.
So I think it would be in their best interest to make sure it gets.
Well, haven't we already paid for it though?
We don't pay for the hardware.
Yeah.
No, but
like,
the thing is,
we
you
paid for
already
the
paid this
contract.
year's subscriptions, so.
Yeah.
So someone has to stay on top of it, say that, part of this subscription is not being executed, that the benefit is not being delivered because, so I guess,
Well, I guess
the thing is that-
that's a good question.
yeah, the
to ask.
police department someone has to coordinate and make sure that, you get what you pay for.
Okay. And again, just underlying all of this is that this subscription is being paid by the grant.
Correct.
So, could I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
know how much. So I need to first apologize because I did not attend the Tuesday meeting and I also didn't watch the video. So I'm probably not. I did read the FAQs, so I know about I understand what the system does and all the rest. My question is that how many towns around us are using this technology? And also, do you have any rough idea about the crime statistics? Like, without this camera, like, how many unsolved cases do we have in the month, in the year? Any kind of
I'll
time
try and
frame
answer
that
the
you-
question I best. I mean,
Yeah,
I
please.
was here to
Yeah.
talk about the
Yeah,
funding
Jen-
impact.
Yeah. So
And
this is
I-
I apologize because I only kind of like wrote my email
Yeah.
after it late, so I didn't.
Yeah, so I can tell you that I think we're connected to right now 54 networks in Massachusetts.
Each network is a town.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of the 200 some towns in Massachusetts, about 50 something using it.
54 are connected to us.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I don't have this. I don't know how many
So-
towns have the system itself.
I see. So then by connected, so then you can share the information with that municipality.
Yes.
Jen, I think we want to keep, I think we're going into the details of the flock system operations, and I think we want to keep the focuses on just the funding and costs of the flock.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I saw that
So-
that's sort of like you need to understand what the technology is for in order to decide if it's justified. Because if you don't see how it's benefiting you, then why would you have it? Not just the financial. I think the financial impact is always come with the actual, because if something is truly necessary, we will find a way to pay it. But
Correct.
if it's a sort of like a marginal improvement, it's sort of like a icing on the cake kind of case, or if it's really fundamental, that makes a big difference on how. It's the same thing with everybody. When you make a budget decision, it's always how important that issue is to you. So that's why, because I think we have pretty much addressed the funding issue. That to me is already, we know what we are going to pay after this year. To me, it's very clear. If we're only going to discuss funding, we're pretty much done. Because the first year is already paid by grant. The next time, the 3-year contract, whether we're going to renew it or not, we'll keep on top of it. We're trying to, before the town decides budget, the renewal date may be coming up, but we're going to inform the company that whatever their renewal date is not truly a renewal date until the town makes a decision. And the town decides not to pay for it, that's the end of it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's the end. So there's no more to talk about. But now what I want to understand is, do we really need it? How do other people feel about it? Or how is there any illustration of what the impact this has already had to other people? So because the chief already said that it kind of like help we increase like about 10% the amount of cases solved. So to the professionals, that's probably very significant. And I'm sure to everybody who is victimized by a crime, they would love this type of thing, this type of help. So, but the thing is, in the general scheme of things, how many such cases we have in a year? So, if 10% of 10 cases is one case, 10% of 100 cases is 10 cases, that will be more significant, So that's why I want to know how many such cases do we actually, experience in a year, and, whether we need it or not. Do you agree?
I think that the system hasn't been installed yet, so we can't really answer that question.
Yeah, but the thing is, other towns have, so that they should have some kind of experience from
Sure, but
talking to
he
other
works
people.
for Ayer, he doesn't work for other towns.
Well, I think the network they should kind of like have some. Oh, is this are we just going to do this as, because right now there's no risk to the town, so we're just going to use this year as a trial period and then answer the questions I have by the end of this year.
It's my hope that when when our officers are trained on this, that when we do have success stories and success rates, that will also be part of some of the information that we'll be able to put up on this portal.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to take a test and see approach, and probably we'll come back about 10 months from now to answer this question, because that will be more relevant when we are up for renewal, when we actually have to pay out of our own pocket.
It's
Right.
absolutely my hope, yeah.
Yeah.
That I'll
So
be
if
able
by
to have
that
some
point,
data
if
to.
by that point it turned out that Ayer had been a wonderfully peaceful, tranquil town, and there were only like the 2 cases of something that this piece of equipment could have possibly helped, and then it turned out it wasn't a big deal. Then I think at that point it might be a little more difficult to justify,
Sure.
an ongoing
And just
expense.
one of the
Yeah.
things I just caution on, like, kind of quantifying victims is, if we help one victim, is that not enough?
Yeah, I understand. It's
Or if we help one victim with a stolen car, or versus one victim versus serious assault, is one more important than the other?
I agree. It's hard to make that kind of judgment.
Yeah, no, that's why I just said, I'd caution against trying to make raw data cases out of this. It's important pieces of information, but I would just strongly caution against that. I mean, I would, you know me, and I come in with a lot of information when we make presentations, and it's my hope that I'll be able to give information that will be informative to this body, to possibly answer that question a little bit more. I won't be able to probably get into detail about the cases, but I may be able to get into detail of the the different types of cases that we've been able to resolve.
Yeah.
Okay, good observation, Jim. Okay, so you want to just for Andrew, anything else you want to continue to look at on the list here with Robert?
I'm fine. I would just add my questions to the minutes. Is there anything?
Okay.
I sent an Eric meeting.
Okay. So then, so Robert, if you want to just continue down that list again, we sort of looked at.
So the hardware, we touched upon it, is owned by
Okay.
Flock. Ending the contract would mean the cameras are removed. Yes, because they own them, and if we weren't going to proceed, they would be removed. Implementation fees appear discounted. Some of them are listed as zero. I'm not.
I can speak to that.
Yeah, Chief, could you on that?
So as we talked about earlier, we came in with a different number for the amount of pieces of technology we wanted to install. So as we were working through that, one of the things that became apparent is that if for the standard pricing that we were operating off of originally, that the technology placement wouldn't be enough for us to make a determination if this was actually going to benefit for the town. So what they had done was to increase the number of cameras to make it somewhat useful, was to discount the implementation on those. They also discounted the traffic analytics, which we also get out of this. So we have, rather than have to put out our traffic counters in various parts of town, we get that data as well. And it's a little bit more finite data as we get to know passenger vehicles versus tractor trailers, things like that. So.
Okay.
The issue of expansion, obviously, if there were to be additional cameras, or any type of expansion, there would definitely be a cost for that. I don't, Chief, if there's any plans to expand the system from what it exists.
I mean, it's a hypothetical, I guess. It's right now we have a system that hasn't been fully placed in a fully operational status. We've got no officers trained, so I don't know if we need anything else at this point. So I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay.
But I can tell you that an expansion would be, it would be an increase in just like you saw it in the contract pricing. Like for every camera has a price to it for maintaining its connection to the network.
Everything costs money.
Yeah.
It really costs money.
And I would assume then, I mean, as we, within the first year, if we decide to do any expanding, then you would be coming back to the select board and saying.
My plan is not to do anything within
Yeah,
this first year.
I doubt
It's-
you try to expand the first year.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know what we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's the way
I
to say
mean,
that.
when you want to expand during the first year, you don't have grant money anymore. You have to ask town to pay. The town already had appropriated money, so you have to do another cash transfer. Someone has to justify it.
Yeah, I think
The thing is, how many cameras do you have now? Do you have enough cameras to cover all the roads coming into Ayer? Say the Route 2A, Route 111, 110, 111.
To
from
answer your
Devon's,
question in a big broad umbrella, no.
No, you don't have enough.
we-
So there's a possibility that someone coming from the road that this camera doesn't cover and still won't be covered.
our initial grant application did,
Oh,
and
the amount that you were awarded wasn't enough.
correct. So we
I
had
see.
to make some strategic decisions on how could we best get where we thought that we would be the best served, right? So where does
So
traffic patterns, things like that.
Okay. So if you get some kind of we shouldn't expect that, by some kind of clever criminal that knows which route doesn't have a camera on and come in that room, then it will kind of this thing would have.
Well, we get enough people driving around town putting flyers on our cameras right now, so they're not secret-looking cameras.
Right.
They're
Are they pretty
Okay.
big? Are they already kind of like mounted somewhere? Should we go out and take a look?
they are mounted, and I'm sure
gossiping
there
right
are
now.
photos on some sort of public forum somewhere where they're at.
So,
Yeah.
well, what I'm hearing is that right from the get-go, you said, we have 25,000 to spend, and we are going to get what we can for 25,000.
Correct.
So you've right out the gate, you've been looking at cost, and that's really what we're looking at is, what is the town going to spend on this service? What would be the cost to the town? So forget from a hearing, you're saying, well, I've got the grant is going to cover this, so this is what we're going to spend for right now.
Correct.
Good.
And there was a lot of time spent trying to figure out where to best put the limited amount of cameras.
Okay. Yeah. So that's sort of just again, sort of what started this part of the conversation with expansion, increased costs. But as you mentioned, you're not looking to expand, and going back right to the beginning, you're saying strictly within the budget we have set by the grant. Okay.
And then, Mr. Chair, so oversight creates indirect costs, and this question came up on Tuesday. I think the chief answered it very well. I mean, first of all, I think it's important to note that there is no plan for year one, and if we're to move forward, there is no plan for additional personnel. I mean, if anything, as we talked about in the budget process, we have to continue to contract in areas. So I'll let the chief speak to it, but it does not require any additional personnel, because I know that has come out there that we're going to have that there's going to be need for personnel and so forth on that. But you touched upon it more eloquently than I did on Tuesday.
It's not going to require any additional personnel to do everything that we need to do with this, because there is some auditing that needs to happen to that, some oversight on the usage of it through the auditing. And any records requests where we have those, or you can just download them now. But the important part is that this is we're getting like another set of eyes out there, and we're not and it's not the personnel costs. So we're able to, and they, I guess the term would be like force multiplying what we have.
So basically, unless you, your detective, if they need information, they can access that from the company's network, whatever, right? If they don't need to access that, then for the police department itself, there's no ongoing administration, maintenance.
Right, and yeah, correct. So the administration would be our auditing process, which
Yeah,
is
that's the other thing I was wondering. You do have the auditing process, but then I think I read from the FAQ that the company actually only stored the data for like 1 month or something.
30 days, correct.
Yeah. So then the auditing happens every month?
So it's going to be on a schedule where we're thinking a monthly schedule.
Yeah, because you better audit when the data is still there, right? Because after a month they delete the data, then
So,
where do
so
you audit?
just to clarify, the data that's getting deleted is the data of the vehicles.
Uh-huh.
So that's what's getting deleted. The auditing stays.
Yeah. But auditing will not have the actual data information, right? I assume the auditing would only say that the information captured there is authentic, is consistent, or that kind of thing. I assume auditing itself does not have the granularity of the data. So yeah, auditing will stay, but auditing is only going to produce a report that say that yes, the camera functioned as expected, or that kind of thing.
No, the auditing is going to be for the usage of it. So how our members of the department using it.
That kind of audit. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I'm trying to think like from what I do when we audit, it's more like to prove some authenticity of things.
Yeah, I'm glad we're clarifying that then, because what it means is we're making sure that the system is being used, appropriately by our policies.
So then, if again I kept on thinking, if there's a very peaceful period and there's no crime, and the detectives have no reason to access the data, does that ever occur?
We always have crime.
I see. Really? This is something I feel like I need to know better about the town. I have no idea if what's the chance of having a crime occur here. So it's more often than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about our incident rates, and I try to
forgot
paint
those numbers now, but
yeah, I think we were kind of eking up too. We were moving up in the trend line a little bit, but it's again, I caution against what's an important crime, and what's not an important crime.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Because now we're saying one victim is worth less than another victim.
No, you can't say that. Yeah. But the thing is that so you have no question that the data will be used every month. Like you're very certain that the detectives will access the data every month. See, the thing is that my neighbor told me to put up a camera, my driveway. I did put up a camera, and then I found that it was totally useless. So after a few days, I never bothered to check it again. So I felt like it shows some kind of car coming up, but there's no way I could see the license plate or anything. So I said, what's the point? But of course, I got a very cheap camera. That's the difference between your camera and mine. So
and that's what's the technology that's in play here. Darkness, everything. It's all plays.
Yeah, but I was just saying that so you're saying that there are enough instances that warrant that you're sure that will the detectives will use the data.
Well, that's our trial period is hopefully going to shed some light on that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Just to sort of summarize here, because this was the one, I think, really the one question I had, and I think it was sort of again answered looking through the FAQ and then our discussion here. We are not having to hire a personnel person who's going to be the flock person in the department.
No.
So and from our discussion here, this is going to be another tool in your
So
tool belt.
and I don't know if this is on the FAQ, but I know I've spoke to it, and this has a kind of a financial implication. So if we have anything go on, we spend hours upon hours going door to door. Can we see your ring camera? Can we do this? Can we we go to various businesses and find their cameras. And can we look at that? Can we do this? This will be a time sink, for that. We're not, we won't be having to rely on that, going door to door and spending that time, then trying to figure out how to get the different types of images and video off of those private cameras. We can go in, we can see if something, matches what we're looking for, and go from there.
So yeah, that's good. Yeah, so it's just another tool.
Correct, and it's in reality, it's it takes these pieces of information, gives us better quality information, and we don't have to go hunting for it. Going door to door, asking residents and businesses for their video footage.
So again, there's no extra cost above the grant. And that's.
I'm sorry.
I said there's no extra cost above the grant. That's
Correct.
Yeah.
Where everything that we've purchased through this is on there.
Well, that was really, but what my questions had been already sort of.
Mr. Chair, just one other thing.
Oh, yes.
And we brought it up at the select board meeting the other night. We are going to be pursuing grants wherever possible to try and offset any costs if it's something that we do indeed to want to move forward with and continue to do. So we're gonna try our best to minimize any type of impact to the town whenever we can, and we do that for everything that we do. But this is a hot topic, and we want to make sure that we're crystal clear with people that if it's something that we're gonna endeavor to keep, we're gonna try and find offsetting costs wherever possible.
So yeah, that was sort of my other question is if we decide to continue doing this, we would have to look as a town. Do we want to pay for it, or you're already ahead of my question there, is that we're going to be looking for grants to pay for this, hopefully in the future.
Correct. And there are grants out there, but I'm probably not going to look to them coming out of the federal level. They require us to make some certain agreements that it's not in compliance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and so we'd have to kind of look past those. So we got to look for kind of state-borne grants.
Okay. Wow. Very good. Very good. Any other questions?
All good?
Okay. So, well, we do want to see it, but I don't know if we have any other public input. I don't see any.
No, it's just Carly on there, I think.
Well, then we have scheduled next meeting.
Yeah.
And,
So.
and just to conclude
yes,
on the
and we
last
have
page,
to
Mr. Pompriani,
finish this
on the
topic.
last page.
Oh,
Yes.
there might be a delay. Hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So if anybody that's watching has a question, or they just want to make a comment, I get them all. I may not be able to answer them because some of them are just comments and whatnot. But if there's something that you want to let me know, please do. My email is pdchief@ayerpolice.gov.
Okay. Great. Chief, thank you very much for taking the time to come and discuss this and give us more information. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Put myself together here, and I'll step away from the table.
Okay. All right. I think the next meeting will be the third Thursday in July, which will be the 16th.
What were we going to talk about? We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and have us.
Can we talk about that thing real quick? I actually watched the select board meeting all the way to the end.
Okay.
And I saw select member, select man?
Copeland or Livingston?
Livingston.
Yes.
She made a presentation about battery, whatever, thing,
Mhm.
and I was really interested in that. So I know it's probably too soon,
Yeah.
but I want to put it on the future list.
So it's just real quick. So there is a initiative or a project coming out of Harvard. It's a private entity. It's called Keep the Lights On in Massachusetts is their initiative. And it's about developing, and I'm going to give you the real layman snapshot, but in essence, what they're looking to do is create potentially a regional solar array that would then, the batteries, it would take the solar energy in this whole battery system, and over a period of time, it would go back to the towns. There has been no commitments. There is a which I can send to the FinCom. There is just a non-binding memorandum of understanding that just looking into it. They're applying, the company's applying for all kinds of grants and funding. Harvard, Ayer, Shirley, and Bolton, and there's some other towns that are interested, have agreed to look into this. There's no.
So this is different from solar panel, solar farm. That this is not, because individuals could go sign up with some kind of solar farm and then buy electricity.
Right. This would be a.
But this is actually a battery. This is not power generation. It's power storage.
So to Andrew's point, Mr. Chair, when did you say the next meeting is the 16th?
Yeah, that we're going.
What we could do, a couple things, is the presentation that Andrew's talking about is in the board packet, select board packet from Tuesday night. There's some other information. Let me see if the FinCom is interested to get the company, and Selectman Livingston has sort of been the lead on this, to come to your meeting to give just a brief overview of what they're looking at. That would be a good point. At this time, there's no financial commitment from the towns, and of course, if there had to be, we would have to go through that whole process.
But this thing is another piece of power, right? It's some kind of a big battery that will store electricity.
Yeah,
It's not a
tied to a solar project
Oh.
that essentially part of it was like if the power goes out, your microgrid is its own thing, and then the most appealing part to me, if you read all the way to the end, is eventually you buy out the investors and the towns then own the assets, and then it's a revenue generator because you're then selling power back to the grid.
So it's almost like your little miniature version of the Littleton's electric, where, because the towns like Littleton actually own their electricity generating equipment, or the transmission equipment, whatever. So this is probably a much smaller scale, won't be enough to cover the town's needs, but it's a little bit of a sort of like towards that direction. Is that the idea?
No,
Okay, then say it again.
it's
Well,
like a
that's-
mini utility. It's kind of
That's what I'm saying.
But
That
it's different than municipal power.
yeah.
Municipal power is like the management company as opposed to a generator.
No.
Generators and distributors. are different.
Littleton is not just a management company. They actually own their own
Yeah.
equipment. So
But we don't own our poles. We don't own our wires.
exactly. But you said that if we adopt this idea and it worked out well, and eventually we buy out the investors'
You own the
share, then we own this little piece of
you own the
equipment.
generator.
Yeah, so we own this little piece of equipment
Yep.
that generates a certain amount of power.
That's right.
It may only satisfy 0.1% of the town's needs, but we can say that 0.1% of the town's energy needs is owned by the town, right? That's the idea.
Yeah. Well, you essentially just sell the power back to the power company.
Yeah, but how you actually execute that is different. But you can send it back to the power company, but then when the power company supply you with that part of power, they're not going to charge you, right? Because that's the whole idea
The whole
of
point is you attach it to a solar array.
yeah.
No, why don't we read the packet? We'll get
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get a rough idea.
The
We
grid
don't
is a pet project of mine, so if we could move to a municipal power company, I would love that. But
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't even afford to buy the power poles on the
I
street
know.
alone.
That's the problem now. That we are already too late. I heard like West Boylston, Littleton. There are a bunch of other like Massachusetts maybe had I don't know a few dozens municipalities that actually
Yeah.
have
I was on municipal internet actually, but you really got to start a power company. It makes it easier first.
Whatever.
So, Mr. Chair, I can send everybody the materials today as your homework, as they say, and let me check with the company could come, and not for your whole meeting if you want, but do a brief, presentation and answer any questions.
Yeah, sure.
Very good. Good, thank you. Thank you, Robert. That would be good. So our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 16th. Okay.
Do you want to make a motion?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank
aye.
you for the honor.
Good. The meeting is adjourned as of 6:57.